Let's freaking go.
Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Niners Sickness with another episode of the Boys Talking 49er Football. I got my boys on the side. We got Mr. Peter and Brandon. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, brother.
I am. Yes. After that victory, I'm still coming down from the high of that of that Philadelphia Eagles pack that we just smoked. Like, I mean, that was a wild game.
Heck yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
What a game. What a statement, right? What a statement that the 49ers put out there. It's one thing to talk some shit. It's one thing to do your shit talking, but you got to back it up. The way I grew up in school is, hey, everybody talks their shit, but are you going to back it up or are you going to get slapped? You know, and the Niners went in there, and I love the attitude, guys. They were wearing all black, going to a funeral, all right, representing that we're going to kick your ass. Then they walked right through the warm-ups of the Eagles on the field, showing that we are not intimidated whatsoever by you guys. And then they put the nails in the coffin with a 42-19 victory. Now, the first quarter, I don't know about you guys, and we're going to say hi to everybody in the comments in a minute. I don't know about you guys, but that first quarter, I'm like, oh, crap. What is Kyle going to do? Because we are struggling the first quarter, and Kyle went into his bag, did his adjustments, and the rest is history. Brandon, I'll start with you, buddy. When you saw that first quarter take place, 2, 3 and outs, the way that they were dominating the Eagles, both sides of the ball, defense and offense, what went through your mind?
Basically was wondering what the fuck we were doing. You know, like the way we started out is usually not how we start out. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a long game. But thankfully, with us kind of struggling in the beginning, the defense kind of like was there, stopped the Eagles, only gave up 6 points, which was good instead of 14, because it would have been a different story if we were down 14-0 in the first quarter. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think Purdy was a little nervous going into this game. And then he finally calmed down and just started doing what he does best, and that's dominating the opposing team defense.
Yep. Absolutely. What about you, Pete?
Mm-hmm.
What went through your veins in that first quarter?
My first instinct was to say, "What are you doing, Kyle?" CMC doesn't touch the ball in the first two series like that. What are we doing?
Okay.
Like we're going the first two plays of the game, we're going empty. What are we doing? Like I didn't understand. And once again, it looked like Kyle was once again just trying to zig when everybody thought he was going to zag, and I just didn't get it. Like and then the floodgate, and then the third drive happened. Luckily for the 49ers, that defense showed up and played a little bend but don't break. They only allowed 6 points, and then the rest is history. Like, I mean, after that, it was just a full-time jack move, like throughout that whole game.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to get in more into the game. We're going to break it down. We're going to give you our thoughts and opinion of the game. But before we get started, let me go ahead and acknowledge some of the fans and the viewers in the chat. We got Jimmy Perez in the house. What's up, Jimmy? We got Philly Special Cards in the house. What's up? Welcome. We got Daniel Burry Sports in the house. What's up, Daniel? We got Royalty. We got Jayla in the house. What's up, Jayla? Welcome. Welcome, Jayla. We got Dawn in the house. What's up, Dawn? Welcome to the show. We got Daniel Cantu in La Casa. What's up, Daniel? We got Ismael Ortiz in the house. What's up, Ismael? We got, oh my goodness, I am going to butcher I'm going to put it, if anybody can read this name, please, I'm going to butcher it. What are we looking at here? Anybody can read it?
Shaji?
Yeah.
Something like that. Shaji.
If I butchered it, I apologize. I was not gutsy enough to try to say it. But welcome to the show. We got Dina in the house. We got Royalty. Welcome. And we got Brad Lodge in the house. What's up, Brad? Brad's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. So, guys, the whole week there was anticipation. The players have circled this game on their calendar. All the things that have been going on from last year's NFC Championship game. If the Niners had a quarterback, what would it have been? All this trash talk back and forth. It carried on to the offseason. It carried on to the season. We finally got to play the Eagles in their house. And what a statement that the Niners made. With this beatdown, are the Niners arguably the best team in the NFL right now? Pete.
I mean, is that really a question?
I hear you.
They are obviously the best team in the NFL. Like, I mean, I just don't think that it's and we've been saying, Niner fans have been saying this for a minute, is that the 49ers had the best roster in the league. It was about Kyle putting it all together and basically just coming up and just not outsmarting himself. And I think he has finally found the identity of this team, and they're in a rhythm. They're executing. They always start off kind of rough, but they started off hot, and then they got a little off kilter in the middle of the season this year. But for the most part, I mean, this team, after it came out of the bye, it's just running on all cylinders, and I just don't see any team that can really just match up.
I agree. Brandon, after this beatdown, it wasn't just we went in there and we won. It wasn't that the Eagles had mistakes. It's not like they turned over the ball. It's not like the ball fell out of Hurts's hand. There were turnovers. This was a matchup pretty much clean on both. It was your dog against my dog, per se, and let's see who has the best dog in the fight. Both teams played their best football, and it wasn't even close. Are we arguably the team to beat this year, Brandon?
Yes, we are. Records don't matter. You saw that on Sunday. Niners are the better team all around. We were number one in everything, in the offensive play calling, defense, everything. Like, I mean, you hear it, everybody talking about it in the media past 2 days. The Niners are the best team in the NFL right now. Point blank and period. Like, just put some respect on our name now. Straight up. Because, honestly, after this week, I'm hoping the Cowboys win against the Eagles. That number one seed is going to be ours. Just wait.
Yeah, the Niners will be hosting the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday, and I believe they're 10.5-point favorites at home over Seattle. Then you got the Rams, who kind of, I'm not going to speak too much of the Rams. We all hate the Rams, but they are part of the division. They're creeping up over Seattle. Everybody thought Niners and Seattle, right? Niners and Seattle. And listen, I don't like the Rams, can't stand the Rams, but I'll give credit where credit is due. what Sean McVay is doing with pretty much nobodies. I mean, if outside of Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp, I bet you none of us can know all the names of those young kids. And for them to be 6-6 this year, I have to give them props. It doesn't matter though; they're going to get hurt, they're going to get killed. But Seattle, especially if they lose, and no, forget especially, when they lose against us on Sunday, they're going to have their backs against the wall. They're going to have to win, right? So now you got Philly taking on the Cowboys in Dallas, where Dallas haven't lost, and I think 17 consecutive times at home or 14. They're playing good football right now. Dak's playing MVP football, they say. If they take an L there, then they got to go to Seattle the following week and play a desperate, really have nothing to lose Seattle in Seattle. That can vote a lot for the Niners. Now, we have, like I said, we have Seahawks, then I believe the Cardinals, and then the Ravens, and then the Commanders, and then I believe the Rams at the end, right? Let me know if I'm missing out of a team. Out of those teams, I'm assuming, my opinion, I want to know if you guys agree or not, the Ravens are probably the ones that can bring the most challenge to us. But we're not playing them in Baltimore. We're playing them in Santa Clara. And I don't think the Ravens are as good as people think they are. I think they're great, but I don't think they're good. Does the Ravens scare you, Pete? Whatsoever, the way this Niners are playing right now.
I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson always scares me. Like, I mean,
okay,
it is what it is. Like, I know that we just held Jalen Hurts to 20 yards rushing. I get it that we kept him for the most part in the pocket, like from like really running around, but I'm more not necessarily afraid of their defense, but they get a lot of pressure. They get a lot of pressure, and if Kyle doesn't call this game, if he doesn't have a good enough game plan going in, and he starts trying the whole zig and zag stuff, it could end badly. And so I think it just depends on, it's really, I think all of the games from here on out depend on Kyle just keeping it simple and knowing that he has the best players on the field and planning accordingly. That's what I feel like. But they're a good team. I'm not gonna say I think that they're. I don't think that they can necessarily match up like on offense. It's really just Lamar because their receivers. They have no receivers, but they still got Lamar. So
no, they do. They definitely have, and he's a more mobile quarterback than Jalen Hurts, obviously. But I like the defense that I seen against the Eagles. The way that front four came as a unit, none of them were being selfish. None of them were just trying to get sacks on their own. They came as a unit. They were putting more pressure. They weren't worried about sacks, in my opinion. They were worried about putting pressure and containing Jalen Hurts in the pocket, not letting him escape to the outside.
Who won our? Did anybody get the sack thing right?
I gotta look at what I wrote it down. That's a good question. Who won the sacks?
I remember,
gotta look it up
because I picked 2. I think they got 3.
They got 3. What you pick, Brandon? Do you remember?
I think I picked 4.
Yeah, because I know what I picked.
Yeah.
You didn't pick 3, did you?
Ask Brandon. He was on the show.
Okay.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating. Hey, it's on video. It's on video. No, I don't know where I picked. Maybe I picked 1. I don't know. I'm hoping in 3. I'm sticking with it. If it ain't true, Peter made me lie.
No,
No, he
it's not
didn't.
that serious.
No, of course not. But hey, I want to proceed with this because it's three of us doing the show, and we have the viewers, and if the viewers want to participate with each other, but I would love to continue to do challenges between us three. Like, okay, who's gonna have the like we're gonna talk about later on the game that we're facing the Seattle, and then I'm gonna keep this in record and it's on video to see out of us three who gets more of them right. And it's a pride thing. Nothing wrong with it. It's a machismo, fun pride. I'm a better man. Like the name that I use for our picks. Who's the last man standing, right? But it's all within fun.
Yep.
We got my niece in the house. What's up, Ma Lopez? Welcome. So, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Brandon. They could not stop the run when we were running towards big silverback Trent Williams. That dude was like a freight train opening. He was like Moses departing the Red Sea. And Christian McCaffrey was running all over the place. Which player offensively impressed you in this game? Besides Debo. Debo's obviously but besides Debo, which player impressed you on the offensive side? And then Pete, you can go next, and then we'll switch over to the defense. But which player impressed you, Brandon, in the offense besides Debo?
All right. I'm gonna have to say Juwan motherfucking Jennings. My boy
That's a
went
good
off.
one, baby.
Left
That
arm
is a good
guy,
one.
broke some tackles, ran in for that touchdown. That was a beauty, man. Like he just didn't get that first down conversion. He got 6 points out of it, and Tim coming in when he did and making that kind of play against a top team per se. He looked freaking phenomenal on Sunday. So that's my pick, Jawan Jennings.
Real quick, I just want to say hello to Ariel and Jayla. Cuvo.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. Joanne Jennings has been he was, bro, number 39. Did not know what was up or down against Juwan Jennings. And what a way to exploit that from Kyle, man. Kyle has been doing some good shit. And I love it, bro. I love it. We have offensive pieces, defensive pieces, special teams played well, and then we have one heck of a play caller. I am fired. I think the worst team we can face this year is the injury team. If we can remain healthy. And I understand sometimes it's hard because of the style of the way we play. But I'm going to be honest. It's kind of mixed emotion, guys, because I never really liked bullies in school. I hate bullies. Okay? I don't like bullies, bullying people. I used to always get in fights because I couldn't stand bullies picking up on the smaller kids. But the persona that the Niners are getting out there in social media is that they are bullies. That there's no team out there that can out physical the San Francisco 49ers. Cowboys can do it. And the closest team that people were chirping was if anybody can match that, or compete with the Niners in that category are the Philadelphia Eagles. They found out that they cannot match that intensity. The way the Niners are playing so physical, in a way I love it, but in a way I don't because I don't want injuries. But you got to let your players play. The physicality is strong. As first, Pete, do you love it that they're considered the bullies of the NFL right now? I want your response to that. Second question is, are you worried because we're so physical that we can lose a player at any given moment?
First off, I had been calling them I had been calling them a finesse team. Like I feel like that they had been losing their identity just because
I
they weren't
remember.
running the ball as much. They were not running the ball as much, and I thought that was really what made them a physical team, was the fact that we were used to them running the ball 30 plus times a game, and they would just wear teams down. But they've just flipped. They've just changed the way to be physical. Now they have a quarterback that can get it to their other physical receivers, and now they're just beating up secondaries instead of beating up people up in the trenches. So our receivers are absolutely bullies. Kittle, Debo, even Ayuk. Ayuk has been getting very physical with other. I don't see any cornerbacks that can guard him I mean, just they don't even want to tackle. And that was something that I said on our last show, was that I knew that this Eagles secondary was soft and that they did not want to tackle. And that's exactly what happened. Like, Debo just ran right over them. Kittle ran right over them, dragging them for yards. Jennings was dragging them for yards. Even though Ayuk didn't get a touchdown, he was dragging them for yards. Like, it was just they just, as a group, they just overpowered them.
Absolutely. And I remember you sharing your concerns with me, Pete, when we talked off camera, that, even though they were 5-0 prior to the first loss in Cleveland, that even though we were 5-0 and we were, playing good football, we were not that dominant, fierce defense that just suffocates opposing offenses, right? We were kind of like pushing the envelope, but we were not crossing the threshold. And we talked about that. Like, man, the Niners are getting, but they're not getting home. When we added Chase Young and made the proper adjustment by moving Ambry Thomas, and let's give Ambry Thomas his flowers. Give him his flowers. The guy has been freaking balling. And then Lenore, ooh-wee.
Booyah!
With that hit.
With that big hit.
He was just caving people's chests in.
With that hit, bro, and standing there telling Hufanga, this was for you. I love it. The fact that this community, how these players love each other, but moving them the way they did and bringing Chase Young, Brandon, this defense has now come back to the defense that we all know and love. That ferocious, smothering, can't breathe, can't get away from these players type of defense. What, in your mind, can anybody stop this defense? And for those that wanted Steve Wilkes to be fired, you're a moron.
Where are you saying now?
Yeah. So go
Where are you
ahead.
saying now?
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest with you, I really don't think so. I feel like we were able to stop Jalen Hurts when he ran outside a lot, contained him very well compared to what we have in the past, because we all know that was our struggle as mobile quarterbacks. Just looking from the front seven to our D-backs, dude, we're playing lights out, man. Like, this defense has looked way better, even better than the 2019 defense. I'm gonna just put it that way. Like, I'm impressed. I'm not worried when we go into games like this. After adding Chase Young, you could tell that this defense has just turned the page and just clicked. So, I mean, every week from here till the end of the season and going into playoffs, I look forward to seeing our boys fucking dominate on that side of the ball.
Absolutely. I love it.
Do you mind? Do you mind me answering that the Arredondo, Joey, or
bro? This is our show. This is our show, bro. No way.
Yeah,
go for it.
We're saying that we're pounding the rock. We're not pounding the rock compared to what we were doing prior to this season. that this season we're not averaging nearly as many carries. I mean, CMC only had what did he had? He had 17 carries in this game. And like I think they had total everybody, including Debo, including Elijah Mitchell, including Jordan Mason getting a couple of carries, including Brock Purdy getting a couple of runs and a Sam Darnold rush. They had total 28 carries, 28 rush attempts. Like they 30 was the benchmark. Like last year. During the three games where that the 49ers lost, they averaged 17 carries total for all 3 games. So they are not pounding the rock. I think Kyle has done a better job of making the offense more balanced, and the physicality is coming from more from the receivers this year than it necessarily is from the running game. I think that Kyle, now that he has a quarterback, he's just more balanced with the attack, and now that I watched the game against the Eagles again, I'm okay with it as long as they still can't get away from the run. I like the fact that they literally had one more carry total than they had in pass attempts. So that's balance. Doesn't get more balanced than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way Kyle made the adjustments from that first quarter going into the second quarter. I love seeing Brock in shotgun, then under center. I love the adjustment they made, and you're right. We're balanced. We're a very balanced offensive line. Some people may disagree with me. That's fine, but I think this team is as good, if not potentially be better, than the 1994 team. I want to get your guys' thought. Start with Brandon, and then your thought, Pete. Is it me? Am I just blowing air out of my left cheek, or do you guys feel that this team is good or close enough to the 1994? No mames.
No mames.
Way.
Go ahead,
You want to
Brandon.
go first?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Pete.
Oh, okay. So I would
Go ahead,
say
Brandon. Go ahead, Brandon. He's like, go ahead, Pete. Órale, pues.
I would say then the 94 squad. Like,
Yes, sir.
I was in high school when in 94. I'm that old. And it was, I think that this team is more explosive. I think if you go down the roster, it feels really weird saying because Jerry Rice was on that squad. Like, and that squad was loaded on offense. But I would take CMC over Ricky Waters. I would take
Preach it.
I would take Ayuk over John Taylor. That it's close, but I think I would take him over John Taylor. I would definitely take Kittle over Brent Jones. And I mean, and the offensive line, like they had a really small offensive line back then, and it was all built around the West Coast offense and getting the ball out quick. Like I don't know that I would take Trent Williams over any offensive lineman we had back then.
You wouldn't?
And I would. I said
okay.
I would.
I was like, what?
Yeah, don't be putting that out there.
No. That's what I wanted to clarify. I'm like, what?
That is the correct answer.
And I mean, Steve Young, right now I would take Steve Young over Brock Purdy. But I mean, Brock Purdy is putting up like great numbers. So I mean, it's a close. It's almost
Preach
like a
it,
wash.
baby. Tell the truth. Preach it, baby.
Like, I mean, so yeah, I think I would take this offense. I would have to take this off, and I feel like they have a better play caller. I think Kyle is an amazing play caller. I think they have a better offensive coordinator than the 94 squad did.
Who was the play
They
caller?
They just overpowered people.
Who was the play caller?
They just had so much talent that they were just. I mean, it. Oh, I'm not. Was it McCarthy? No, it wasn't McCarthy.
No, not in '94.
Yeah, not
McCarthy
it
was 2005. Who was it? Rhodes?
It's right on the tip. No, Ray Rhodes was
No, Rhodes
defensive
defense. Yeah.
guy.
Or was it the guy from the Vikings? The one that said, "We knew who they were. We crowned their ass." Dennis.
Denny Green.
Danny Green. Yeah,
I got it. Now I got it. See, now I got to look it up.
it's okay. I didn't mean to throw you a curveball, but only because you mentioned.
But yeah, I would take
Kyle.
them.
You know what I mean? And I know I know you were not referring to Seifert because he's defensive mind coach. So I know you were heading. So now I'm like, who was the coordinator of the Niners back then? That's good.
Oh, it was Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan?
It was Mike Shanahan.
In '94?
No, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I thought he was in the Joe Montana. Okay. We're trying to figure out who's the one you compare with Kyle. Oh, shit. His dad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
his daddy.
Well, there's a lot.
I'd still take.
Mike
I would
came on and
still
said-
take Shanny over Mike.
Yeah. You know what? I would too. I know somebody that Brandon knows that don't like Shanny.
There's a bunch of people that don't like Shanny.
Dion?
I mean,
I didn't say the name.
I see the potential.
I love Dion.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But I just love the potential of Shanny. If he can ever just put it all together and understand, be confident, just be confident in what he's calling. I think he gets wishy-washy from time to time, but I think once it clicks, and I think now that he has a quarterback that he can trust in, I think that he's right there. He's right on the cusp.
I like it. Go ahead and add your shit, Brandon. Add to it, brother? Are we as good or better? Or is it just air leaking out of my left culo when it comes to the 94 team?
So, because I was barely 1 year old during that time.
God, both of you guys, I was in college. Both of you guys are making me feel young, old.
I was a 1. So, I'm just going to agree with Pete.
Now I know why he told you to go first. So we can say, I agree with Pete. Smart move there, Brandon. Smart move. I didn't realize you were 1. I keep forgetting because you look so old. Just kidding.
Thanks.
I'm messing with you, brother. You look good.
I know you see a little bit of gray, but damn, bro, I'm barely 30.
Hey, bro, for 54, I don't have a lot of gray in there yet. And then people are like, well, that's what you're shaved. Somebody had told me that I couldn't grow my hair. I mean, nothing against bald people, but I said, no. This boy is bald because he wants to be. Because I ain't paying him $40. How much? Okay, real quick. Brandon, not to get off the rails here. Brandon, how much you pay for we talked about this a few weeks ago. You were on your way to get a haircut. And I asked because I've been bald, shaving my own head for almost 30 years. Because I just wanted to be bald. Brandon, how much did you pay for your haircut?
I paid $35.
$35 for a haircut. Now you might say, well, those that get haircuts today are like, yeah. I'm talking about the last time I got a haircut, I paid like $10.
Yeah.
That
was what mine was.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like 35. Oh, I remember women pay that much because they would get a shampoo and they would dye their hair and the whole beauty salon thing. But for men, to go in there and just get a haircut.
So that's just with like my barber, but these other barbers, they charge like $50.
Yeah, see? That is crazy.
I mean,
this is why.
Inflation.
Yeah. I stay bald.
Cost of living, bro.
No, and in all respect to all barbers, if you're a barber, do your thing, man. You guys are amazing. And like you said, inflation, you got to pay your bills. I'm not trying to knock nobody down. I'm just saying I was paying $10 and I got a lollipop at that time. Do they even give lollipops now?
Songo meal. No.
I have no idea.
I threw that curveball. Both of you guys struck out. Yeah, I love it.
No idea. I don't go. My wife takes my son to the barber.
Oh, you don't?
I don't take him.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
He's 6.
He's
oh,
like,
he's
I'm
6?
good.
Yeah.
Oh, so you okay. So you kind of late to the ground. Okay, I see. You're not going to be a grandpa until a long time. Then, good for
Oh, yeah.
you. Good for you. Yeah, I'm
Hopefully,
your grandpa.
because yeah,
He's like, okay, we'll leave it at that. So
yeah.
we go into Philadelphia, guys, and we put a 42 burger on them. We controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides. Somebody earlier, and I don't remember who, and I'm not going to find the comment because I got to go through a lot of them. So just bear with me. You know who you are. Mention, and I agree, that the Niners exposed the Eagles for the frauds they are this year. They're not the same team as last year. They're not playing good football. They're playing okay football. They're winning. They're finding ways to win games. And hey, they are 10-2. I'm not taking nothing away from that. They are 10-2 for a reason. But they won close games, and they were barely getting by until they met the bad, big wolf and just got destroyed. And I don't know if you guys seen it. The picture of Brandon Graham said, I love that we got beat this way because we're going to find out who we truly are. Do you guys agree with that statement? Do you think the Eagles will take this ass kicking and realize, you know what? We were riding high, barely winning. This is a true wake-up call, and we got to figure this shit out. Because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble, Brandon.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm not even gonna lie. I think they might lose back-to-back games and lose against the Cowboys this weekend. Just because they got starstruck by the Niners. And like you said, Beto, this team's not as good as they were last year, and the fact that they keep getting talked about like they're the best team is just beyond me. Especially after this game too, they're still talking like as if they're the best team. Only half of the media says, "Oh yeah, the Niners are the best team," but like it's just crazy, dude. Because I mean, you really think about it, dude. They're straight trash. I'm not even gonna lie. Like all due respect.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I hear
All
you.
due
Their
respect.
defense, their defense is trash, bro.
Hey, am I getting a sense of bipolarism here with Brandon? Because they're trash with all due respect. I'm like, you just call them trash, bro.
I mean, hey, I'm just
You're a
being
polite
straight,
trash talker, bro.
being honest. Just being honest.
Yeah.
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
You come on, you can admit their defense isn't good. Their defense is not good.
Their defense. I look at their defense and they're completely dependent on their defensive line. If their defensive line gets pressure, then they're fine. Like, but if their defensive line doesn't get to the quarterback, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day because they don't have the depth that they had last year.
No, they don't.
Line.
Especially in that linebacker. And listen, they signed, what's his name? The linebacker. Shaquille Leonard. But let's be honest, okay?
But
they signed him for the league minimum.
Yeah, he washed.
Okay,
He's just.
If you're
and when I say he's washed, it shouldn't even talk about people like that. Like but the reality is he's got back issues. And
is that your way of saying, with all due respect, Peter?
Exactly.
He's not in. He's not in his time anymore.
Exactly. With all due respect, you washed. Okay. So I mean,
With
he
all
needs
due
to
respect,
go home and put some
you're
thermacare back pads on and just take the year off. Like
with all due respect, just retire.
Just retire.
yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
you don't get paid just league minimum if you're still a force of nature. And not only that, but the Colts are I think I forgot how that they owe him a lot of money or they're going to pay a lot of money for cutting him. You don't cut someone and pay that money if the player's still valuable at all. Now, we know that the Eagles are desperate at linebacking core. They just, after the way they were running in circles with our guys in the middle, they had to make a desperate move. Now, I've heard, well, they beat the Cowboys. They the Cowboys didn't have a chance. They beat them. They took them away from the Cowboys. He signed for league minimum. What? Did the Eagles offer them $1 more? In other words, he went to Dallas. Dallas was not going to give him any money, because if Dallas really wanted him, he would have never left the building. I mean, league minimum, right? Yeah. So you give him a little bit more of that tells you that Dallas would have gotten. The fact that he left Dallas and only signed for the league minimum to the Eagles is because the Eagles right now are more desperate than the Cowboys in that position, and they needed anything to help them do anything. But I don't think he's going to be any type of game changer going forward.
I really think that he chose the Eagles because they have a better chance than the Cowboys. I just think that the Cowboys, I mean, as much as we slapped around the Eagles in this game, they're a better team than the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion. Like, because at the very least, I think that they have a better coach. They obviously have an identity. And like, just because the 49ers made you look bad, you can't discount that they were 10-1 before that. And like, so, I mean, if you look at it that way, Shaq Leonard just probably went to the team that he actually thought would contend. I don't think that the Cowboys are going to contend. It's I know that people are trying to push Dak Prescott as the new MVP front runner, but like, that's just silliness. Like, I mean, Prescott.
It should be Tyreek Hill, bro. Come on, bro.
I'm still, hey, dog. Like, I look at it like this. Purdy's got the numbers.
The numbers he is a quarterback. I hear you. But
MVP is all about the numbers. And like, so if we're talking about the numbers, and I mean, if you want to go CMC should be up in the conversation as well. So like, if we're just being honest about MVP, the actual way it's the most valuable, then yeah, like I would put Tyreek and CMC should be in the conversation. But I mean, Purdy's on pace to have 4,500 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
And like over 30 touchdowns and like less than 10 interceptions. Like, I mean, so that's an MVP season.
It's so funny how, Purdy's putting up these numbers and he actually has the lead in these MVP odds, right? After Sunday's game. And give me a second. And
the Eagles were trying to pad Jalen Hurts' stats too at the end of the game. Did you see that stuff?
Yes,
I did. Have. Yeah, and you get these, like, I don't give a shit about what the media says, but I always tune in still to see what they do have to say. They're like, oh, Purdy's getting these numbers because of the players around him. It's Purdy's throwing these short passes, and Debo, Ayuk, and everybody's doing the rest of the work. I'm like, so are these other fucking quarterbacks? Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, freaking Lamar Jackson. Doesn't matter who it is, but they're going to continue.
Yeah, they had the percentage. They had the percentages up there, and Purdy had like a lower percentage of yak than like all of the guys that won MVP. It's that's a silly argument. Like, just because there is no crazy, MVP that doesn't have good players.
Yeah, exactly my point. Yeah.
So real quick, let's transition over to, because I did want to bring this up. Daniel brought up earlier, and he brought it up again.
Me too.
The whole Greenlaw situation with Dom, the head of security of the Philadelphia Eagles. Listen, his job, this is my opinion, you guys can jump in there. His job is to protect the players from the fans, not players from players. He has no business. And I understand he wasn't poking Greenlaw. He was just trying to get in between, but it wasn't his job to do that. And this is where people are overlooking. Like, wow, he wasn't trying to start nothing. Fine, but he put his hands on Greenlaw when he had no business whatsoever, in my opinion, to do that. Now, did Greenlaw go a little bit overboard by trying to sniff his? I don't know what that was. It wasn't a punch. It was kind of like a
Yeah.
He
He
tried to
just kind of
push him.
brushed his nose.
yeah.
Well, he tried to push him. The fat fucking's face moves over to the right and gets him in the face. That's what happened. But people are trying to say
Yeah.
that he punched him. That's not what happened. I didn't see no close fist at all.
Now,
He
was
was
it
pointing.
worth-
He was pointing at the guy behind him.
Mhm.
Is what
Mhm.
happened. He was pointing at the guy behind him, but the guy's face got in the way, and
Yes.
he almost picked the guy's nose.
Exactly,
and they were making a big deal of.
Was
I
it
just
Should
thought
not
it
have
was
gotten ejected.
okay? That's where I
And
was
then-
heading. Did he
Yeah, yeah,
get ejected? Why did he get ejected? And then they eject that dumbass.
Yeah, I was like, they ejected him. What for? What?
Like, how does that hurt? How does that hurt the Eagles?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Number one.
I mean,
Number
well,
two,
the reality is they probably told him to go away because he wasn't supposed to be out there in the first place. And
No.
apparently, there was a story after that the league was pissed that he was even out there on the sideline.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
and
I don't know
that
why.
they were going to call the Eagles and basically say, "Hey, are we being serious right now? Get him off the sideline."
yeah. What is he doing there? Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
and then
why he
involved.
was that close to the field. I do
But
not
even if
know
he
why.
wasn't close, I mean, at least have the decency to move out of the way. That's not your job, Mr. Security.
No.
Your $17 an hour
And then-
paycheck.
And then
Greenlaw
the
should have
nerve.
suplexed him.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. The nerve of these fucking broadcasters, especially coming from Greg Golson,
yeah. That guy doesn't
trying to
shut
say
up. By
that
the
the
way,
security guard is a freaking hero and all this bullshit. Like, dude, are
Yeah.
you serious?
yeah,
You should
yeah.
never put your hands on a damn player. Ever.
Yeah,
I don't hear that because I mute my games. I've said this before. I watch all Niner games on mute because for that reason. Because in the past, when I used to hear Greg Olsen, the dude is still wearing a whole new play, and the guy's still talking and referencing the play before and giving his thoughts on it. I don't want to hear that. So I said, you know what? Forget it. I mute games is better. The only ones I don't mute is when I watch the Mannings do their thing on ESPN, just because I think they're funny. I'll watch that. But other than that, I don't care if you're Tony Romo or Aikman Homo. I don't watch neither one of them.
I love and I hated Peyton Manning as a player, but I love watching that show just because I love the fact that he gets so caught up in the game that
He's
he
like a
forgets
kid.
that he's on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, he forgets he's on TV, and he's just like, and he's sitting there, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And that's I love
He'll get up
watching
and
it.
walk away sometimes.
Man.
I think he's
Hey,
hilarious.
and then also too is so like I was like broadcasting the game but not broadcasting the game. I had the KMBR on in the background with the scoreboard on my channel,
Okay.
and I just like my uncle went to go put it on and he was listening to Greg Papa call the game over Greg Olson and whoever the hell was with him calling the game. So I mean, shit, like start doing that stuff, man. Like get more views that way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I know what you mean, Beto. Hey, I have a video for you real quick if we could play it. It's what Ryan Clark said about the Niners last night on.
Where do you have it on?
I have it on Twitter. But you want me to share the screen or do you want me to send it to you?
Send it to me. Put it on our
Okay.
chat. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Just put it in our chat. Real quick, I just want as he's doing that. I just
Was it a
wanna
penalty? Was
What?
it a penalty? The
Oh,
Drake
for-
Greenlaw,
I don't think it was.
No.
the roughing.
I don't think it was. People
No.
might say we're biased because we're Niner fans. I don't think it was.
I don't
But
think
I'll
it
even
was. He
take
was in
that, though.
bounds.
He was in
He was in
bounds and
bounds,
his feet was
and-
still on the ground.
Yep.
And he wasn't going down. So I mean, what was he supposed to do? He had to tackle him.
Yeah. The
And he
league
didn't
is.
even it wasn't even a real suplex. He didn't even his one foot was still on the ground.
Yep.
And that, so yeah, I don't even think that it was as bad as they were trying to make it.
Nope.
I agree. Even if they
Wasn't
would have
very
given the
good.
15-yard penalty, which I don't agree with, fine. But the whole ejection thing was really
That was bull.
the refs really got soft there, man. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Yo,
their shoes.
can I ask you guys something too? Tell me
Yes,
why.
son.
I mean, it wasn't going to be a surprise after the game, but tell me why these Eagle fans are crying, complaining as if uh, we didn't get these penalties called on us, blah blah blah. I'm over here like saying the refs let them play because there was a lot of calls that weren't called on both sides. They let them
Yeah.
They
play
had the
because of
exact same.
how
They had the exact same number of penalty yards. And
yeah.
and I think they had 2 more penalties called against them, but they had the exact number of penalty yards.
Yeah,
So I mean, what are we talking about?
they're just crying because they got their ass. They see it's one thing losing, okay. Another thing is getting your ass whipped. Now they always talked about their 31-7 score against a no quarterback when you have Christian McCaffrey, the running back, throwing the ball. Okay, but we played their best with our best, and that one of the things that was being preached: if we had a quarterback, it would be different. And we went in there with a healthy quarterback that stood up for all 4 quarters, and the outcome was 42-19. Domination of the Niners, flexing, not only flexing, but slapping them so hard that their mamas felt it.
Mm-hmm.
You got that
You
video?
got that? You got that video?
No, you never told me you sent it.
I sent it to you in the group chat on Twitter.
No, I don't have it open. Let me open it up. Twitter. Let me set it up, guys, real quick.
And, yeah. So that shouldn't have been a penalty. That was bullshit. But the fact that I think people were kind of scared that after all that happened, that it was gonna, light a fire under the Eagles' ass and start something. But as soon as they scored that last gimme touchdown that they were able to get, Purdy, Debo, and then Iron said, "Nope, not happening." And Debo took off and scored that touchdown.
Yep, exactly. All right, let me know right away if you guys can hear it. Okay, here we go.
The 49ers.
Unbeatable.
Meaning what?
When they're whole,
That's an
When-
important
Here.
word, too.
when they're whole, when you have Trent Williams,
Yes.
who's a skilled player to me, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, they are unbeatable. And I'm not saying this as hyperbole,
No.
though, Scott, because everybody's going to go, "Oh, Ryan, how do you say they're unbeatable? Anybody can lose. It's any given Sunday."
I'm waiting.
What I'm saying is, since they've been on the field together
Uh-huh.
and started a game and finished the game, they have not lost.
You are absolutely right.
And you look at what they were able to do, Scott, and you talked about this. What was the number you gave us on beating the really good teams? What was it? Jacksonville,
Dallas,
Seattle.
Jacksonville, Seattle, Philadelphia. 4 really good teams. They beat them by 103
You beat them
points.
by 100.
103
You
points.
beat them by. You get 100 in anything, it's good.
Yeah,
Right. You
yeah.
score 100 points in those games, it's good. But to
Beat 'em
beat
by that.
those teams that way, it shows you that in the biggest times, against the best of competition, this is when this team is the best. And when you look at them offensively, you say to yourself, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make this a fist fight." Right? Philly was saying, "All that stuff y'all talked all season, we gonna have to see about that." And you know what they said? What the kids say now? Bet.
Bet.
They showed up with that physicality, and I told you how I described it earlier.
Yep.
They're the most schematically intelligent, ignorantly violent group of individuals I've ever seen. Because you saw what RG drew up. That's difficult for defenses to deal with when you have a guy that's basically saying, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." That's only being used as a decoy so Brock Purdy can find the open spaces. That is tough. But then when they get the football in their hands, they are seeking contact. They are seeking opportunities to inflict pain on defenders, and I don't think that's like any other team in this league.
They like gangster nerds.
All the smoke.
Yeah, like gangster nerds.
You are the only person on earth that can bring that analogy and it makes sense.
Philadelphia.
Gangster nerds.
There you go.
Philadelphia, no.
There you go, gangster nerds, ladies and
Those some
gentlemen. I
gangster
love it.
nerds.
I'm telling you, the bully, they're the bully kids on the block, and they're backing their shit up. They're backing it up. They're playing great. yes, we went through a course of 3 losing games. We lost Trent Williams and Debo in that game. The game plan was around Debo. And we, for all people want to say is Brock Purdy was able to, as bad as he played against the Browns, was still able to muster enough offensive plays to get the Niners in position to win the game by a 41-yard field goal, which is pretty much an extra kick point. It wasn't like it was 65-yarder and our kicker missed it and we lost that game. That wasn't on Purdy. And we went through a slit. We lost 3 games. Renee. We lost 3 games in a row, and it kind of got us to look back and see what changes we had to make. And from the point that we got Trent Williams and Debo back in the lineup, with the addition of the changes on defense, this team hasn't looked back, and we've been dominating. And if we can remain healthy, I want to ask you guys as we're towards the end of the show, because me and Brian have to do another show at 7:45. So the last question I'm going to ask you guys is this. Obviously, we want to win the first spot. Okay, the first spot. Thank you. The first spot on be number 1, get the bye. And it's better to play 2 games than 3. But let's say the Eagles beat the Cowboys, and that number 1 spot takes off from us. Doesn't matter where the Niners go and play. If they play their type of football and they're healthy, is there anybody that can stop the Niners, whether it's home or on the road? Pete.
I don't think there's anybody that can beat this team if they are fully healthy, just like Ryan just said. I think if everybody's fully healthy, there's no team in this league that can match them up person for person. It's literally impossible to cover the entire field. And that's what the 49ers and Kyle make you cover the entire field. It's not possible. So there's going to be gaps. And the one thing that Purdy is outstanding at is making the read and knowing where to go with the ball early before he even snaps the ball, because his anticipation is crazy. He's throwing balls before the receiver even gets out of his break. So no, I don't think it matters where they go. They were just in probably the most hostile environment that you can get. And as well as the 49er fans, they're going to travel.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter where you're at.
Good point,
Like
Pete. Good point.
It's not going to be as hostile of an environment. Like it doesn't matter where they are. It's not going to be as hostile of an environment as it would be for some other teams. So
there, go ahead, Brandon. You're muted.
My bad.
That's all.
New mic stand.
My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, the mic stand though. Feel me? All right. Anyways, no, I don't think anybody can beat us at this point. I think we are on a red hot streak right now, like we were last year, going into the playoffs. I think we got Seattle next. We got, how else do we got? Baltimore, right? I think that's the rest of the play.
We have Seattle, the Cardinals. Then
Baltimore.
on Christmas
Cardinals.
we have Baltimore. Then the Washington Commanders, and then we finish it with the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, dude, I have a strong feeling that we could win out, especially with the way that these guys are playing. As long as we stay healthy, too. Dude, I'm excited.
Absolutely. All right, guys, before we shut it down, I want to just take a moment to acknowledge a great friend, a great 49er fan, love his Niners, supported his Niners, great podcast individual, a human being with the greatest heart. I got the honor to meet him in person and have breakfast with him and a couple of us. And he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. and he went into the hospital last Sunday, complication. Then they sent him home on hospice, and he passed away 2 days ago. He lost his fight against cancer. Now he's rooting for the red and gold up in heaven. So I want to take a moment in silence for our friend Corey Davis. Corey Davis, we love you. You will be missed, but never forgotten. We podcasters are going to do everything to keep your name live and well amongst each other and the 49er fan base. So let's all take a minute and reverence for our boy Corey Davis. Thank you. Corey Davis, you will always be loved. Keep his family in prayer. It's difficult times, especially, I mean, you lose anyone at any time of the year. It's difficult, but it's a little bit more difficult. This is maybe just my opinion because I have lost family, and I lost my mom, and I lost family during the season. So it's tougher in my opinion, but keep them in your prayers, the family. Thank you guys for tuning in. My boy Pete, like always, from Niner Fanatic Podcast. We got my boy Brandon for Forever Fanatic, Forever Podcast. So many names. You know what I'm going to start doing is just have you guys mention your own things. Probably better off. I'm a rookie here, but anything real quick, Pete. You have anything going on your show this week?
No, I'm just gonna do a pre-game and post-game instant reaction show after the game, after the next game, and then my normal Monday, Tuesday with y'all. So, but appreciate make sure that you like and give us a subscribe. Make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day, every week.
I love it. Yeah, make sure to follow us three. We have we come together every Tuesday at 6:30, but we are on our individual channels, so make sure to support and like all our channels. Brandon, you have, besides tonight, you can mention tonight so they can follow us. Real quick, what do you have going on your channel?
So go ahead and go over to For Faithful Podcast after this show, 7:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to go live right now to talk more about the Eagles-Niners game, and later in the week we'll preview the Seahawks game, and then back here again with the boys, Pete and Beto, next Tuesday at 6:30. Yeah, make sure to follow me and Brandon. Will be going on his channel. We're going to be on my channel as well, but make sure to go to his channel, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the like button. Real quick, Brandon, how many subscribers do you have now, and how close are we to 500 to your goal? I am at 484.
484, guys. Let's help get Brandon to 500 subscribers. Let's chip in. Real quick, Pete, how many subscribers do you have?
I believe I am at 357.
All right, so let's get Pete to 400 on Facebook, everywhere, to tune in to Pete's channel. Tune in to Brandon. If you don't know, if you happen to forget the name of their channels, it's in the description below. All you got to do is click on it, go to all their platforms, and subscribe and follow. With that, we say goodnight. Thank you for being part of our show. We'll see you next Tuesday at 6:30.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.